Welcome everyone, and thanks for joining me once again for another episode of my Aston Villa career on FIFA 16. And what an episode we've just had, where we played the West Midlands derby. What a game that was, ending 3-3. It was a 6-goal thriller. And then we had that trip to Anfield where we drew 1-1 against Liverpool. Yes, both games ended in a draw again for Villa. But, you know, we're seeing so many positives all across the pitch in different positions. I mean, I even got Charlie Austin scoring in that previous game. Thankfully, he turned up in that West Midlands derby. Otherwise, if he hadn't, we probably would have lost 3-1 against the Baggies, which would have been pretty disastrous seeing that game was played here at Villa Park. Anyway, moving on to our next couple of fixtures. First up, we have Stoke at home. We were without Carlos Sanchez, who picked up that sprained ankle against Liverpool, who would be out for 4 weeks. Thankfully, though, we had the international break, which was only for 2 weeks. So recovery is certainly looking a lot better for him, and he'll be back in the first team as soon as possible. But Veretout will take over in that central mid role for him in this game against Stoke. And what a game he had. He almost came very close to scoring the first goal with that thunderous shot, which Butland just about managed to save, just parrying it wide. But we were stringing our passes together so well against Stoke. We were making them look bad. And I certainly pulled my finger out in this performance against Stoke. I wanted those 3 points, because with Stoke being up in 6th, just on 11 points, and us being on 9, if we could, you know, get the 3 points, we can maybe get up into 6th ourselves, up into 5th, into a Europa League spot. You know, it was something that I had to do, because up next we have that trip to Stamford Bridge against Chelsea, and I know, and I knew at the time playing this, that was going to be a difficult game. You'll see the highlights from that a bit later on in this episode. But with us only winning 1 game so far this season and the rest being draws, okay, we're unbeaten in the league. We need to start getting 3 points here and there. And we went 1-0 up against Stoke in the second half. It took us long enough. In the 55th minute, the goal coming from Leroy Fer, our top goal scorer. I think that was his 3rd or 4th goal for us so far now. What a godsend he's been. And, you know, if I hadn't have signed him for Villa this season, who would have been scoring our goals? Okay, Charlie Austin scored 2 in that West Midlands derby, but every other game that he's started, his performances have just been shabby. I'm not getting the best out of him at the moment. And I would admit, it's kind of frustrating when you're actually playing the game to think that you've spent that money when you could have maybe spent on someone like Juff, who can score goals, who did score a goal in this game at Villa Park with the all-important equaliser. And then moments later, he almost put Stoke in the lead for the first time with that effort yards away from goal. Thankfully, Guzan was there to actually pull off a save. He's been a bit dodgy for me lately, Guzan. Some bit wary of him. I think maybe a replacement is on the horizon. You'll notice I did bring on Gabby Agbonlahor to replace Charlie Austin, and I'm so glad I did, because it would be Agbonlahor to get the winner for Villa, to seal the 3 points at home against Stoke, sending the fans home happy. And, you know, we did well. I mean, I had to shut up shop towards the end of the game, because Stoke, obviously, they were all out attack. They were looking to get something from this game, and some would say that they probably deserved a point, if anything, and I wanted to make sure that didn't happen, because we know, looking at the league table, we've won 2 games, drew 6 now. Yeah, we're still unbeaten, but with that win against Stoke, we now move up to 7th, and when you think about it, with our next game against Chelsea, they're on 14 points. If we could beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, we're up in that Champions League spot where I want to be aiming for throughout this career mode. Couple of headlines as well. Delight over Fer and Amavi, who did get his start in that previous fixture against Stoke, and will be getting first team football more regularly than Kieran Richardson from now on. I know quite a lot of you guys have been saying, start Amavi, and I know I should be, and I know I should have at the start of the season, but again, it was just that experimental phase, can we call it maybe? You know, just me testing out players, see what works best for me, and so on. But anyway, moving on to some good news. Carlos Sanchez has returned from his sprained ankle, which was a bit of a boost, but he would still miss the trip to Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. But, you know, we're heading into the busiest time of the season. December is looming, where fixtures, as we all know, come thick and fast. There is a bit of competition for him though, because since he's been out, Veretout has stepped up and he's been putting in some amazing performances lately. The same goes for Clement Grenier, who I signed in the summer. He's really, it was a shaky start to his career at Villa, the first couple of games, but I've started getting used to him working in the system now for the team. So a bit of competition for Sanchez. I've just got to try and find a way of rotating those players around and just seeing what works for us. Now anyway, moving on to one of the bigger fixtures of the season for Villa. We had the trip to Stamford Bridge to play Chelsea. That was probably my strongest lineup I could come up with. You'll notice that Gabby Agbonlahor got a start over the top of Charlie Austin, who had dropped to the bench after some poor performances lately. Only scored 2 goals for us in the league so far, and that was in that West Midlands derby. But with Gabby Agbonlahor, I'm not sure at the moment whether he's best used as a super sub, because that's what he's done for me so far this season and done well coming off the bench. But those doubts were laid to rest when he scored the opening goal at Stamford Bridge with just 3 minutes gone. I couldn't have asked for a better start. It was Kurt Zouma with the initial mistake, going in for the sliding challenge to win the ball back when he probably should have stayed on his feet. And that obviously cost them the goal. It allowed Gabby Agbonlahor in. That's what he does best, playing off the shoulder of the defender, just waiting for those opportunities to come flying in. And whenever you score an early goal against the opposition, if they're playing at home as well, you've got to expect some blowback. And that's what came to us. It came tenfold as well. Chelsea were the better team in the first half. I think we were very fortunate to get that first goal, and we did have to try our best to shut up shop and kind of play them at their own game and park the bus. We were making good challenges, we were putting in good blocks here and there, and Guzan certainly having one of the better games this season for Villa with some really good saves. Top draw stuff from him in this one, but conceding the corner a bit later on, Kurt Zouma had made up for that mistake he made 3 minutes into the game by getting the equaliser for his own team with that header from the corner. It was a good set piece. It's what Chelsea are known for doing, and it'd be a bit of relief as well for the Chelsea supporters watching on. They did look to extend their lead to make it 2-1, and it was set so nicely for Ramirez. Willian doing well, using his pace down that wing to crossing the ball to find Oscar, but Ramirez offside. Probably could have done better. Should have known better really as well. If he had his wits about him, probably could have stayed on side, probably could have made it 2-1 before the break. But going into the second half, it'd be Oscar to make it 2-1 before the 50th minute mark. I was very disappointed, a bit deflated to concede at the near posts. There was nothing we could do about it really. I mean, Lescott tried his best to get in front of Oscar here. Just wasn't quick enough. I'm not sure why he's raising his foot there. He was never going to get to it. The reach just wasn't there, and frustration was building. I was getting a bit annoyed, and it did cost us as well. Lescott getting sent off in the 81st minute. We went down to 10 men. Thankfully, Chelsea didn't go and pile on the misery by scoring more goals. They kept it at 2-1, and we did drop all 3 points at Stamford Bridge. That's the thing with this Aston Villa side at the moment, going by our current form. One day we're flying high, the next we're shot down and dropping all 3 points here and there. It's almost as if you don't know which Villa team is going to turn up on the day. Is it going to be the one that can tear you to shreds within seconds, or is it going to be the one that's just going to sit back and allow the pressure to come to you from the opposition? And that unfortunately was kind of what was in mind heading into our next game in the Premier League against Swansea. I know I needed to win. I know it would have been good to bounce back with a win after that loss against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And with the boost of Sanchez, he got himself on the score sheet to make it 1-0 with 28 minutes gone. It was a positive start for Villa. We were certainly more superior than Swansea. Going over to the camera and celebrating, we need to try and keep our spirit as high as possible, to keep on going and never say die. What a finish it was from Sanchez. Fabianski came out to meet him, wiped Sanchez out in the process, but at least we got the ball past him in time. Britain was trying to seek out Montero down that left side, but it was a good interception by Gill. He read the game well, came forwards, took the ball, and we strung some nice passes together with that great attacking move between Garner Gay and Charlie Austin. And it was gone again with the second goal in the 50th minute. The game almost out of sight for Swansea City. There was just great energy all across the pitch, good movement as well. It was untouchable, and this is what I want to see for the majority of our games. Okay, you're not going to be able to win every game of the season, but you at least want to be seeing your team putting in the effort. We could have had a third if Nzogby had just kept his head clear and just took his time with that moment. I know he was getting closed down, and I know his left foot isn't the best as he prefers his right. He just couldn't wrap his foot around it, couldn't get the ball to swerve into the top corner. But we did win in the end. We picked up 3 points, thankfully. That's our third game that we've won this season. And as I've been saying for the last couple of episodes now, we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of this episode. Hope you've all enjoyed. Once again, thanks for all the support you've shown on previous episodes. And here's to many more to come. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you all in the next one.